Yes, everybody, welcome back. My name is Howson, and today we are going to be looking at the Premier League prediction for this season. Bit of a weird start to the season. Obviously, it feels like ages ago, actually, but it wasn't ages ago that the Premier League actually finished, and we are back in the mixer again. Very, very short pre-season for United. Something that, I'll be honest, I am a little bit worried about because I think pre-seasons are very, very important, and having a thorough pre-season is very beneficial for us going into it. I don't like how tired we looked, and I don't think we've had anywhere near enough time off. We are going to have to look at doing fitness during the season to make sure that we can actually survive the whole thing. But nothing we can do about it. No point fucking whinging. Just get on with it. And before I say anything else, can I just say, what's the fucking point of having 3 internationals with 3 days between them in both October and November? What the fuck? Honestly, we've got to have a truncated Premier League season, domestic campaigns, European competitions, all got to be squeezed in. And they've actually almost expanded the international calendar. No one gives a fuck, you dickheads. Literally, no one. Gammon care. No one else cares. It's bullshit. Anyway, that being said, let's talk about the Prem. So, I'm going to talk about who I think is going down, who I think is going to get the top 6, where I think United are coming and why, who I think is going to be United's top scorer, top assister, and then who I expect to break through from the academy. So let's look at the relegation battle then. I've seen West Ham being tipped to go down. As much as I would enjoy that, I unfortunately don't really think that that's going to happen. I do think that there's a real chance that you're going to see them sucked into some sort of drama, but I don't anticipate them going down at all. I think they'll probably be safe. There's a lot worse than them, even though they are certainly not great. Newcastle, I've seen a couple of people mention as well. I think they're probably going to be in the mix. They're certainly not going to be completely safe, but I do think they'll probably stay up. Fulham, a lot of people tipping Fulham to go down, and I don't know why, basing this on absolutely fucking nothing, I think Fulham just about escape it. So my bottom 6, I'm going to say West Ham, Newcastle, Fulham, just to survive. And going down, I got West Brom because I feel like they've just got a championship team that is just devoid of any sort of talent. It's pretty much what I said about Sheffield United last season. So, look out for me to be completely fucking wrong on that one. Brighton, who I tipped again last year, I just don't think they've got anything about them. They do not impress me in the slightest. And rock bottom, I have Crystal Palace. I think they've hung on for too long, and it's time for them to say cheers and goodbye. That's who I think is going to be going down. I think Villa should be okay. I expect Leeds to come in and be well safe, although I don't think they'll break into the top 10. And that's who I think's going to be going back down. So let us know what your thoughts are on that. Let's look at the top 6 then. So not many surprises, I don't think. I think Leicester come out of the top 6. I think Jamie Vardy's heroics slow down. I don't think they stop. I think they slow down, though. I think he's approaching the sort of time in his career where consistency and being relied upon to perform the miracles that he has done over the last several seasons is looking more and more unlikely. And I think his slowing down and their over-reliance on him, I think I see them slipping down just a little bit. And they'll be replaced in the top 6 with Arsenal. And I know I like to bag on Arsenal, and it's good fun. They do look like they might actually be starting to get their act together. But in true Arsenal fashion, getting their act together means they're still fucking miles away. And I still expect them to not be anywhere near threatening to anybody inside the top 6. So I think Arsenal just about sneak in. A bit of an honorary mention to Everton, who've bought phenomenally well. The fact that you got Ancelotti and James Rodriguez and Allen and even the likes of Richarlison and stuff like that, that's not the sort of player I've seen at Everton, in all my time watching football. It feels like a corner has been turned with Everton. And Ancelotti is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I do think he's going to do bits with them, but I can't see them getting over. They might get over Leicester. They're not getting into the top 6, though. So 7th or 8th, I put the cap for Everton. Arsenal in 6th. I think Spurs come 5th, and I don't think Jose lasts till Christmas. I think he's going to be gone by Christmas. I think that Matt Dotters is an astute signing. I think he improves their defence. He also improves their ability on the ball. But I don't think they're going to do anything major. I think there's, again, an over-reliance on Harry Kane, and I don't think Harry Kane's anywhere near the player that he was even a couple of seasons ago. So I expect Spurs to stumble, sack Mourinho, but finish in 5th. I wonder who will be their manager by the end of the season. Wonder if it'll be Poch goes back. What do you reckon the odds are on that? In 4th place, Chelsea. They've bought phenomenally well, but I expect Thiago Silva to be a complete and utter flop. I don't think coming from the easy pace he's had being a flat track bully somewhere like Paris is going to prepare him for coming to the Premier League and the intensity that he's going to have to play with. So I think Chelsea come into 4th place. I think they've bought really well, but I don't think their signings fix necessarily the problems that we saw at Chelsea. So I think they're still going to stutter a little bit. And then 3rd place, Liverpool. I think they've peaked. I see the reaction of Liverpool players, managers, pundits, everybody, and the ridiculous over-the-top reaction, the over-the-top wanking them into oblivion about winning the title. I think they've been at an extremely high level for the last 2 seasons. And I don't think they're buying well in the slightest. When I heard there was rumoured to be looking at Thiago, Werner, Sancho, I was like, fucking hell, that's a massive upgrade. That's actually brilliant. That's it. That's literally who they need. I could argue for another defender, someone a little bit more reliable, alongside Van Dijk, because if they lose him, I think they're also in the shit. But I think if they'd have got those, I think you could be looking at them retaining a title. Now they're not looking at signing anyone of note. I think you're probably going to see Liverpool stutter, continue the form that they've been in post-lockdown, and really struggle. But still actually be, in and around the title. They're not going to be out of the top 4, for sure. They're not going to drop out of the top 4. But I don't think you'll see them lifting the title again come May. I've got United in 2nd. Unashamedly biased. I make no fucking apology whatsoever for being biased, because I'm a United fan and obviously want to see United do well. And there's a little bit of optimism in here, of course. But there's also some reasoning behind it. If Manchester United replicate the form that we've been in since January, even with some of the players that we've had being injured or just returning from injury, Manchester United are going to be a tough ask for anybody. In the second part of the season, we started to right the wrongs of being able to beat those teams that were supposed to turn up and beat. The mistakes that we made earlier in the season when we was playing the likes of Pereira and Fred and McTominay as a midfield, that's not going to be the case as we go forward. We are going to start putting some of those smaller clubs aside like we're supposed to. And United was second only to Liverpool last season in the top 6 mini league, which tells you that Solskjaer, more often than not, gets his tactics right on the big occasions. So I think United are going to push quite hard, and it might be neck and neck with Liverpool. But I think we get into 2nd place just. I think we might be a way off a title challenge, but I think we can come 2nd. Because obviously we saw in 2018 that we came 2nd, and I feel like we're in a much better place right now than we were in 2018. This is going on the assumption that we do bring in a couple of signings, that we probably bring in at least one more midfielder, potentially a left back and potentially Jadon Sancho. We do those things, that's when we're coming 2nd. I'm looking at those signings to come in. If we don't make those signings, we'll struggle to get into the top 4. It'll be Chelsea that replaces us higher up, and Liverpool maybe even come 2nd again. I've got Manchester City winning the league because I think they're about to do the sort of summer that we've not seen since when Sheikh Mansour started taking over in the early days. When FFP wasn't a thing, I think they're going to revert back to treating it like it's not a thing, and it's going to be a nightmare. I think they're probably going to bring in someone like Koulibaly alongside Ake, and I think they're probably going to try and get some big names in up front, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild. And I think that'll be Pep's last season. They'll win the league. He'll fuck off. And whoever will come in and do exactly what he did. That's depressing, isn't it? Even a good season for United sees City winning something still. Right then, top scorer for Manchester United this season. I think it'll be Tony Marshall. I think he'll be deployed centrally. I think he's going to come into the season with confidence. Obviously, we saw a hat-trick at Old Trafford this season. Or we didn't. We saw it on telly, but you know what I mean. I think there's going to be more of that from him. I think as he grows into knowing that Solskjaer trusts him, and the players start actually realising his runs, Bruno Fernandes relationship develops. Obviously, he's got a good relationship with Paul Pogba. I think you start to see a lot more come from Tony Marshall, and I do pick him to be United's top scorer. Doesn't take penalties, even though I think Bruno will take a lot of penalties and be right in the mixer there with goals. I think Tony Marshall will finish top scorer, and I'm going to say he's going to get over the 25 goal mark, and I think he's going to be 27, 28 goals, all competitions. And that'll put him pretty close in the mix for Premier League top scorer. I think he'll just miss out on that. I think someone will overperform in the league and get ahead of him. But that's who I reckon is going to be top scorer. I think Marcus gets around the 20 mark, 18, 20, all competitions. I think Mason Greenwood's going to be right on his shoulder, similar amount. And I expect Bruno Fernandes probably to chip in with 15 plus, depending on the penalty situation. But if VAR's not going away, there'll be a lot of penalties to be had. Top assist, I think that is Bruno Fernandes. I think his final ball is fantastic, and I think he's going to forge relationships with Jadon Sancho if he comes, Tony Marshall down the middle, and Marcus Rashford on that left wing. And I think he's going to be providing goals for all three of those lads, which will see him top the assist chart. And then academy breakthrough. It's difficult to really say which player. I mean, Brandon, loved Brandon for a long time. Didn't expect him to get the breakthrough that he did last summer, and fair play to him for taking it the way that he did. The obvious one to really make a breakthrough is Ted and Mengi. Aside from him, you're looking at Ethan Laird. The lads that have gone out on loan or are to go out on loan, the likes of Dylan Levitt, I think he's going to have a great time at Charlton. They've got a fucking player and a half in him. And congratulations to Dylan for making his international debut last week. Well done. But I think the two names that really stand out is going to be Ethan Laird. This is for the first team. Ethan Laird and Ted and Mengi. I think they'll get minutes, and I think they will impress. I think outside of those, players that I'm expecting to do bits in the academy this season, I think Anthony Elanga's time has come to show the world how good he is. I also think Mark Helm is about to step up and show the world what a real classy player he is. And Deshaun Bernard probably to continue. I almost think it doesn't bear mentioning Hannibal Mabry because he is on the same trajectory that perhaps not Mason Greenwood was, but certainly the same trajectory that Angel Gomez was. If he can be luckier in terms of getting game time, staying injury-free, I think Hannibal Mabry could be someone that breaks into the first team in a few years. I wouldn't expect a debut this year. I think he needs to continue working his craft and show that he can actually dictate play at this level, and he'll be good enough to partake in play in the Premier League in a couple of years. But it's some real good talent in the academy. Manchester United Academy, obviously, providing the world with different players all over the show, and we've got some absolute gems in there at the moment who just need game time to show what they're all about. Put Salford away hard this week, which was good to see, so you know that they can compete in adult football, and with a team that's in League 2 as well. That's bloody good going, that, considering that in the past we've played far more experienced teams against League 1 and League 2 teams. Look at the MK Dons fiasco under Louis van Gaal. That was a far more experienced and supposedly better football team than what we put out against Salford. And yet they got absolutely trounced. So it's a real good unit that we've got here. Let's see what happens with them. And we'll get into there. So that's my relegation battle, my top six. Why I think United are finishing second. Top scorer being Tony Marshall. Top assister being Bruno Fernandes. And academy player, if I had to pick just one of those names, I think Ted and Mengi will be the one that we see more of this season. But cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Have a look at the link in the below as well for our Patreon group. You'll get all of the members' benefits that you get on the Stretford Paddock FC channel, where you'll get the full 90 minutes of games, be able to watch all that sort of stuff, as well as the pitch side interviews that I do and that we do with a couple of the fans and players after the game as well. So there's all sorts of stuff going on with that. If you'd like to support the channel in any way whatsoever, then the link is below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Latest.